Okay, let's go ahead and open up the doors. We're right on time, actually a few seconds early, but that's okay. Dr. Wallach prefers it that way. And I just want to say hello to all of our radio audience as well. Those who are listening on KSCO, KOMY, and others that I may not be aware of. Hello, and welcome to Daily with Doc. My name is Becca Dukes, and as the hostess of this program, I'm going to make sure that the volume on my phone is off also. So please, if you are listening and you really want to pay attention, make sure that you have all of the notifications turned off so that you can focus. And as you're focusing and you want to take notes, you're going to have to take notes really fast. But if you do not take really fast notes, that's okay, because the replays for our programming can be found on YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, and of course, DailywithDoc.com. Make sure that you are following us on Critical Health News on Facebook and on Rumble and YouTube. And then on Facebook, we are just as Critical Health. So we are excited to have you interested in investing this time into what you can do on your own when it comes to health and wellness. As we are all about looking at the body as a whole, not fractionated nutrition, not masking things with a pharmaceutical here and there, but folks actually giving the body what it needs, not just to survive, but actually thrive. And in order to do this, we had to have some type of research, something that was concrete that we could use as proof and evidence that what you put in your body actually does make a difference. Folks, there's a Senate Bill 264 that was published in 1936, if I'm correct, that stated that our soils are empty when it comes to nutrition. There's not enough to be able to sustain life. So if there's no nutrition in the soil to sustain life, and our food is grown in that soil, and our food doesn't make minerals unless it's in the soil, that means our food is empty also, folks. So we have to be intentional on supplementation if we want to thrive. So there's a lot of people that just want to survive and get through each and every day. Well, I am intentional, and I know my co-hosts are, and so is the good doctor that we have on with us today, very intentional in supporting the temple that God gave us to be the best we can possibly be and avoid the things that are causing damage. So folks, this program is for educational purposes only on the importance of nutrition. The FDA requires us to let you know that our products are not designed to prevent, treat, cure any diseases, and this program is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician. But when you give your body what it absolutely needs, your body can do some amazing things with or without the science or the permission of anybody else. And the doctor that we have on with us has been instrumental in suing the FDA over nine times, and prevailed. 8 times. He's holding his fingers up. 8 times he has sued the FDA and won.
In federal court.
In federal court. So I think that's pretty significant, Dr. Wallach, in kind of, well, not just that being significant in stating what we are talking about, but also the fact that your thesis is held in the National Smithsonian National Institute as being a national treasure based on the research that you did in Africa, more than just Africa, I think, but other zoos. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of people in this world that are considered animals. And since mammals are animals, we're mammals, I think it all makes sense. It all is related, right, Dr. Wallach?
Absolutely related. And of course, should I say, that study, which became a book, The Diseases of Exotic Animals, as you pointed out, which is in the Smithsonian Institute, National Treasure, very proud of that. It actually covers 20,000 autopsies that I did of over 465 different species, including humans, obviously, which was a big chunk of the 20,000 autopsies. Probably half of those were human autopsies. And basically, I had already learned a lot of that stuff because I'd already had many articles published before that. But the advantage of that particular study was that people were sending me bodies of animals and people from all over the world. Okay, and so it wasn't just looking at what happened in Cook County, okay, in the Brookfield Zoo. This was a world study. Very proud of that. And of course, that sells for $25,000 to $35,000 each. The Disease of Exotic Animals. This is a sort of a synopsis. This is a summary of that publication. Thank you. Epigenetics. I started a whole new science of epigenetics. That's me. A picture of me with a monkey from the Yerkes Primate Center, where we found the first non-human cases of cystic fibrosis, thought to be one of the most terrible genetic birth defects in humans. Turned out to be just a simple nutritional deficiency. When I proved it by showing it, it was also in 24 of the other baby monkeys at the Yerkes Primate Center. They fired me. And that's when I went back to school and became a physician, because I knew I had to get the information out, because it would die in the archives of the Yerkes Primate Center. Okay, that was not going to get out there. So I had to become a physician so I could talk, because as a veterinarian talking physicians talk, they would just, oh, poo-poo it. Kind of, well, he's just a veterinarian. What does he know about human medicine? Okay, so I had to have both. And that's why I went that direction, because the information was unimpeachable. Okay, when you do autopsies on that many, and it's the same result over and over and over and over, this is unimpeachable evidence. And this is, what started the whole, studies in science of epigenetics. And it's one of those things where we've been blessed over the years because of that. We've been able to control many diseases that were out of control. And still, because the information doesn't filter out there, if the local doctors are not being proactive and they're still reading stuff from 50 years ago or 100 years ago, and so they're still giving out old information. And so it pays families to get these books and papers, which you can get. And Rebecca will kind of guide you in the right direction to get those things. And this used to be the thing that grandma used to do. Grandma was in charge of the family health. Grandma would, do everything from, making sure that you had X number of different types of vegetables. And she would pick the meat. She would actually look at it and say, well, I like this cut better than that one. And grandma would pick out everything that she would eat. Okay. And the grandmas that were clever and smart and observant and reading and doing everything that was necessary. And they would get clay from different places where people lived a long time. And they would use that clay as sort of to put it in your food as a supplement, along with salt. What?
Kind of a seasoning.
Yeah, kind of a seasoning, but it would add years to your lives. And that's what grandmas did. Okay. Well, it got so big and so complicated that grandma could do their part. But once we went to electricity, it took 99% of the control out of her hands. Because when we went to electricity, we changed. And that's why we had this big trouble with the soils. U.S. Senate Document 264, 1936. It just showed very clearly that our soils were depleted, didn't have anything in them. And that's because prior to electricity, we were using wood and coal as fuel. We were putting the wood ashes and coal ashes into our gardens, and plants would flourish. And people didn't know why, but they would put the wood ashes and coal ashes in the garden. But they didn't know this piece. They didn't know that the plants were actually sucking up the minerals. So when you ate plants, whether it was a carrot or a tomato or a bean or a squash or an onion or whatever, pumpkin that grew in a garden that was fertilized with wood ashes and coal ashes, you were getting those minerals that were in those wood ashes and coal ashes. Well, once you went to electricity, they just went to NPK fertilizer, which is a plant can make seeds for the next generation from NPK. We need 60 minerals. Plants only need 3. And so that's the difference. And we're in trouble now because the medical system has made enormous numbers of mistakes when it comes to determining what's what. Okay, over to you, Becca.
All right. I think that's the shortest opening you have ever done, Dr. Wallach. But I know we have people with hands and questions out on YouTube everywhere, Dr. Wallach. People are finally waking up to the importance of what supplementation can do for the body. So I think that's absolutely fabulous, because if I would not have woken up, I would not be here with us today, Dr.
How about that's
Wallach.
true?
So
Yeah.
I am very, very thankful that, somebody shared your message with me. And folks, if you're listening to this message and somebody shared this message with you, please get back with them and tell them thank you. Because what you're going to be hearing today can be life-changing. What you've already heard just goes into some of the history of what Dr. Wallach has done to bring him to where he is, making him the authority on nutrition and giving him that authority, credibility. That's the word. Thank you so much. And being able to share what he's saying with confidence, with certainty. And that's one thing that, because of my personal experience, I can do as well, and say with certainty, I know that when I give my body what it needs, I don't just barely survive and wonder if I'm going to make it to the next day because the pain is so intense. I thrive and not have to deal with that anymore. Folks, we invite you to feel the difference also. And Dr. Wallach always says, give us 90 days. And, that 90 days, there's a lot of things that can happen. But when I got to that 90 days, I didn't want to stop, Doc, because it just kept getting better and better and better. It's like Dr. Wallach always refers to like putting oil in your car. Or folks, I like the fact that it's not fractionated. It's not just one thing. It's not just gas that runs the car. It's not just food that runs our body. You've got all those different fluids, which I look at as nutrients. It's not fractionated. You can't have your car function without having any antifreeze in the radiator. You're not going to have brakes with no brake fluid. You're not going to have power steering with no power steering fluid. So we give the body all that it needs, and the body can overall work on a holistic level together because it's not fractionated, Dr. Wallach. If I were just to take calcium, how would that affect my body? Just calcium. Who knows what form?
Yeah, you'd get some minimal benefit, but it would not be, because to utilize calcium, you need also phosphorus, you need vitamin D3, you need vitamin A, you need vitamin C, you need all those things as well as the calcium. If you just take calcium and none of the other stuff, you're just sitting in the house and never getting out in the sun for a half hour, an hour every day, and getting some vitamin D3. Taking that little bit of calcium every day would be useless.
Yeah, absolutely useless. And that's the nice thing about the programs that you and your team have put together, Dr. Wallach, is it's not just a couple things, because the body needs more than just a couple things. 90 essential nutrients to maintain. And then if you've got some things going on already, you've got to have those extra ones to help fill those gaps, to bring the body back into where it's supposed to be. And then also, yes, the rebound. So the rebound is a nice little addition that Dr. Wallach is holding up right now, giving a little extra of that nutrition and the minerals and B vitamins. I mean, there's what, 200 some nutrients?
There's over 100 nutrients in here.
Over 100. Yeah, I was exaggerating.
75 minerals and 25 vitamins and amino acids. Okay. And so we're very, very proud of this product. It was made for Theo Ratliff. He's a great basketball star at age 24 years of age, but he had bone-to-bone arthritis in his knees and his hips, and he had a fracture in his shooting arm wrist. They took a $35 million contract away from a 24-year-old kid. So his buddy and I gave him the Rebound. We actually made Rebound for him. It didn't exist before him. We also added the glucogel, which is a form of collagen that we never had before with Youngevity. And we added that to the Healthy Start Pack and called it the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack and gave that to Theo. And we regrew all his cartilage and got him playing at his full capacity. And he had contracts for over 11 years and made over $100 million in contracts. Not bad for a kid, who was so wrecked up that they wanted to do a double knee replacement and put him on the side of the road.
Well, that's an incredible story, Dr. Wallach, but it doesn't have to get to that point for anybody where they have to do that much repair. Folks, prevention is so much easier than reaction.
Yeah, ask your car. Most people take better care of their car and they take better care of themselves.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a whole lot easier to change your oil and make sure your fluids are good than to replace a transmission. That's for sure. Yeah, well, Dr. Wallach, thank you so much for sharing that story. And folks, if you know anybody that is active, whether they're in team sports or just individual sports or just love to go hiking or anything that sweats, you want to make sure that you're giving the body what it needs, because sweat is not just water. It's the minerals within the body that you are sweating out. And if you don't replenish them, you're going to have or open up the body to more decline. And you're not having that lubricant that protects the joints. Or it's just, there's so much within the body that is not simple, but folks, health is simple when you give the body what it needs.
Yeah, the body does its part. You don't have to do everything. You just give it the raw materials. The body will do everything. The good Lord made us have all these capacities and abilities to do these things, but it does take raw materials. And that's why the Garden of Eden was so famous, because it had all those raw materials. And that's why people live so long. And of course, when you have the story of Adam, who lived to be 930, and Noah lived to be 950, Methuselah lived to be 969. They didn't get there just by eating pancakes for breakfast made out of wheat and eating fried fish, okay, for dinner. That didn't work, okay. And in those days, they were really doing great things by taking. They lived in the land flowing with milk and honey. It was legendary that people who lived a long time lived in a special place, okay, because the mountains were being ground up by the glaciers every spring when the thaw would come, and the glacial milk, which looked like milk, was just white mineral dust in the water, made it look like you're down in the valley and you see this white stream coming down the mountain. It looked like milk, so they call it milk, the land flowing with milk and honey. And as a farm kid, that always bothered me. What kind of milk was it? Was it cow's milk? Was it sheep's milk? Was it goat's milk? Was it elephant milk? Whale's milk? What kind of milk was it? It turned out it was glacial milk. In chapter 10 of the book, Rare Earths and Cures, chapter 10 is entitled Glacial Milk. It tells the whole story of these minerals that are found in the glacial milk all over the world. And there's actually some analyses, so you see what we're talking about. That chapter is extremely useful. In fact, when people buy the book Rare Earths and Cures, I always say, read that chapter first. Read chapter 10 first, then go to chapter 1 and start again. And you'll appreciate the information in there. Thank you.
All right. And folks, you can get Dr. Wallach's books at drjwallach.com. That is drjwallach.com. You'll find all of Dr. Wallach's publications there on his website. Well, Dr. Wallach, let's go to hands that are up. And folks, if you are here live with us in the Zoom room, you are welcome to raise your hand. Find that Zoom menu, click on raise hand. And if you are out on YouTube or Rumble or Facebook, you'd like to join us live, or you're catching a replay and you want to join us live sometime, we are here Monday through Friday from 12 to 12:50 p.m. Pacific time. That is 1 o'clock Mountain Time, 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern. We are here for you Monday through Friday. So Dr. Wallach, let's go to the first hand that is up, and we have Sherry. Sherry, go ahead and unmute yourself. You're on live with Dr. Wallach.
Thank you. This is about a female, Dr. Wallach. She's 56 years old. She's 5'8". She weighs 220 pounds. She had a serious car accident 24 years ago and is now a type 1 diabetic, has been since the accident. No gallbladder, it was removed. She has thyroid issues. She's had several surgeries on knees, legs, and foot due to sports injuries. What would you recommend?
Okay, I got type 1 diabetes, I got gallbladder issues, and I didn't catch this.
The thyroid, just thyroid issues, and no gallbladder, it was removed.
Okay, all right. Well, this is a common scenario in America, okay? And so basically she needs to get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no barley, rye, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks, even the diet drinks got to go, and also carbonated water, so you can maximize absorption, because the carbonation neutralizes stomach acid, so you cannot absorb minerals or digest food. Very, very bad situation, okay? Then at 220 pounds, you got to get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no processed meats, no oils, and all that kind of stuff, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. I already said that. And then I wanted to have 220 pounds. I wanted to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month. There's 1 per 100 pounds of body weight. Two healthy brain and heart packs a month. Full dose of everything twice a day. Then I wanted to have 2 bottles a month of our MSM, so you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. They're going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone makes bone itself. I also wanted to have the collagen peptides, to scuba that with their morning drink, scuba that with their evening drink. That's also going to deal with the connective tissue all over the place. Then for the gallbladder, I wanted to have our gallbladder in a bottle. It's called Ultimate Enzymes, which has bile in it, and it'll help the liver do its job. Okay. And so you have to be able to absorb the essential fatty acids, okay, which require bile. So we came up with the healthy, let's see here, the ultimate enzymes, which we call the gallbladder in a bottle, okay? So I take 2 or 3 of those, say a half hour before each meal, or 10 minutes before each meal, 10 to 30 minutes before each meal, okay? And that will help with replace the function of the gallbladder, which accumulates bile during the day. And when you have meals, it will contract and squeeze bile into the intestine and help you absorb essential fatty acids and fat soluble vitamins and that kind of stuff. Okay. Then for the thyroid, I'd have her take our Ocean's Gold. She could take 3 of those twice a day, Ocean's Gold. Then I also wanted to have the Fucoid Z, take 3 of those twice a day. I do that. I don't have a thyroid problem because I do that. Okay, so her thyroid problem will go away, but she needs to stay on this program forever. And then type 1 diabetes. If she was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when she was 56, is that correct? Or was she been born with that?
No, it was after a car accident 24 years ago. She became a type 1 diabetic. Something happened to the pancreas.
She was 30, so she was 32 years old when she had the car accident. Okay. All right. Well, then we want her to have our sweeties. She could take 3 sweeties, like 5 or 10 minutes for each meal. Okay. And it will replace the function of the pancreas, which produces insulin to help you deal with sugar. Okay. And so type 1 diabetes is a genetic disease that babies are born with. So for somebody to have type 1 diabetes, the fact that they took her gallbladder out, okay, they probably took out, maybe even did something on the bile ducts, not only the bile ducts, but also in the pancreatic ducts coming from the pancreas where the insulin is formed, is supposed to go into the bloodstream. So there's something that they did that caused her to be, quote, a type 1 diabetic, okay? Yeah, type 1 diabetics are born with it. you don't get to be a type 1 diabetic when you're 50 years old. That doesn't fit the definition. So at any rate, this is kind of a lifetime deal. And we want her also to be on a Rebound or a sports drink with 100 nutrients in it. We do have the sticks, come 30 in a box, 75 minerals and 25 vitamins, amino acids. We do have the canister. There's 36 servings in the canister. Okay, one scoop in a bottle of water. Okay, and it gives you the same nutrients as in the stick. We do have the cans, 12-ounce cans, 12 cans in a case, but they do have carbonation in them. So if you're going to use the cans, I use them at the house. When I leave the house, I take my sticks with me, okay? And that way I don't have to worry about bottles and all this, that, and the other. I don't have to take a cooler with ice in it. And so, but to pop the tops on 2 cans of your Rebound, okay, cans, put them in the refrigerator at night. They'll off gas all the bubbly at night, and they'll be flat in the morning. No more bubbly, no carbonation. It'll be safe to drink during the day. Okay, so that's what this lady needs to do, Sherry, and contact you every couple of weeks, ask any questions. But everything she has here, including quote the type 1 diabetes, because we don't know the history of that really. We don't know why she has a type 1. Was it because they tied something that they shouldn't have tied? During following the surgery for the accident, but they may have thought it was an artery and instead of a bile duct. Okay, and but it should go into the bloodstream. Okay, all that insulin should go into the bloodstream. So I don't know what's going on there for an adult to get type 1 diabetes. She's just totally nutritionally deficient. Okay, but at any rate, 2 bottles a month of our sweeties. Take 3 times a day, and let's see if we can help her reduce her type 1 diabetes to no diabetes, or at least manage it. Okay.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
All right. Thank you, Sherry and Dr. Wallach. Let's move right over to Jay. Jay, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, awesome. I can barely hear you. I don't know why that's not, but Dr. Wallach, I'm excited to be talking to you again. I just have a quick question. I am 4 months pregnant, and the doctor told me that I can't take the multivitamin, the 90 essential multivitamin. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, unless you're tied to this doctor, I'd look around for another OBGYN.
Okay.
Because
Okay, so
what does he expect you to get all your nutrients from your food?
that's what I figured based on what I've learned from you.
Well, you cannot get all your nutrients from your food because plants only need 3 minerals. We need 60. Okay. And so remember, when we went to electricity, there was no more minerals coming from wood ashes and coal ashes into the gardens, into the fields. And so unless you're living down in the valleys where the land's flowing with milk and honey, and you're getting that glacial milk coming down into your backyard, you must supplement with the 90, especially if you're pregnant. Oh my gosh, that embryo needs a lot of nutrition.
That's what I was thinking. I'm sorry, I have my ear to the phone because I can barely hear, but okay, so I can take the 90 essentials. Is there anything else that you would recommend that I do? I have the list of the no barley, the no oats.
No bad foods. Yeah, no wheat, barley, rye, oats, no wheat, barley, rye, and oats. You can eat rice, you can eat beans, you can eat that sort of stuff. No buckwheat, no wheat, barley, rye, and oats, because they interfere with the absorption of nutrients.
Okay.
And you don't want to cheat that embryo, your baby, to come here pretty quick. We don't want to cheat that baby, that embryo, out of these nutrients.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. I appreciate you.
Hey, you bet. Thank you. Keep us informed, will you, Jay?
Oh, absolutely. Have a blessed day.
And
You too.
congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, Dr. Wallach, to say that you can't take multivitamins when you're pregnant, our food's null and void of the nutrition, and it takes nutrition to build healthy cells. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I want to know what medical school this doctor came from.
Yeah, well, Just doesn't make sense. I have a gentleman, Dr. Wallach. He is, I think, 57 years old, and he is 5'6". Sorry, I just had it here. Yeah, 5'6", 225 pounds. And he has a PSA number between 5 and 6. He is on blood pressure medications. He's also on metformin for blood sugar. He sleeps through the night. He doesn't wake up during the night, and he doesn't have any, abnormal have to go running to the bathroom during the day. So PSA, that has to do with the prostate or a hormone? What is PSA?
Prostate specific antigens. Mhm.
Okay. So if your prostate specific antigen, which I'm glad that I don't have to worry about, is between 5 and 6, I don't know what the ideal number is, but I think it's pretty close to 0.
Yeah,
What would cause
it's
that?
supposed to be, around 1 or less, okay? And so, there may be something going on there because the prostate requires nutrients, okay? And so, it wouldn't hurt to do an MRI, okay? Do an MRI, magnetic resonance imaging. It doesn't have any radiation or anything like that. Do an MRI and see what's going on with the prostate gland. And then, at 5'6", I'd like to see this guy weigh maybe 150 pounds. I might be 75 pounds overweight. And so needs to get going there. I wanted to have 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. None of the bad foods, of course, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat bran around oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks, even the diet drinks and carbonated water got to go. And then at 225, I want them to start with 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, a full dosing twice a day. I want them to have 2 bottles a month of our MSM. So I take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, or dinner time. And they're going to support and promote major repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between vertebrae, bone, raised bone, cell. I also want them to have our, our rebound, our sports drink. You'd have 2 doses a day of that. If he's going to use the cans, he's got to pop the tops on them the night before he drinks them, put them in the refrigerator, and drink them the next day when they're all off gassed, all the carbonation. The sticks, I like them because you can tear the top off of them at any time of the day and pour the powder into a bottle of water. Okay, same way with the canister. And I wouldn't give any prostate supplement until we find out what's going on with the prostate. Okay, because you don't want to be giving a prostate supplement to somebody who has prostate cancer. Okay, because it'll drive the cancer. Okay, so we want to find out what's going on to get an MRI. That'll tell you if the prostate's enlarged. Okay, and so it's a non-radiation, non-invasive way to find out what's going on. All right. And so, and they obviously need to get a complete blood workup and all this kind of stuff will help information. And then one other thing, if he wants to lose weight fast, he can use our, let's see here, our shakes, okay? We have the chocolate, we have the strawberry, keto shakes, 1 meal a day. Doesn't have to be the same meal every time, but it's a meal replacer. It's not to add on to a meal. And he'll lose a half a pound to 2 pounds a day. And so it might take him 3 months to get down to where he needs to be. Okay. At his age and his weight. But this is a process. It doesn't happen overnight, but you do all these things and you'll add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life. You'll save yourself an enormous amount of unnecessary misery. Okay, by doing these things. And so, keep us informed. That's what we're here with. Doesn't cost anything to give us a call. It's toll free. Okay. So
Yeah, you just jump on Zoom. Jump on and talk to us. So awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. So so it would be basically supporting the body with like a brain and heart pack.
That's correct.
All right. Until we have more
because your own immune system requires those nutrients as well. So we're sort of hedging our bet here and supporting the immune system in case there is something going on with that prostate. And so it may just be deficient in the same minerals that are, maybe causing some liver issues because they get the nutritional deficiency. Well, here's where a hair analysis could be of some value because it'll give us the level of the nutritional minerals and the levels of the toxic minerals. So that might be something that this fellow wants to do. Okay, is take
Well,
the
and since we're working with blood pressure concerns, because he is on a medication, Ultimate Daily Classic is what you recommend normally for that to help
Yep.
promote the circulation, clean the blood type things.
yeah Ultimate Daily Classic. He can have 2 bottles a month of that. Okay, and take 2 or 3 of those twice a day, and that will support healthy blood flow through blocked arteries and support healthy blood pressure.
And then how about for the blood sugar, Dr. Wallach?
Okay, any blood sugar issues, the sweeties, take 3 of those twice a day. That's two bottles a month of the sweeties. And again, if you're on medication, don't cold turkey off the medication, but as the blood sugar begins to drop, you can slowly reduce the medication based on the numbers. Usually it takes 2 to 4 weeks, if you're a raging type 2 diabetic, okay, and you've been on medication for years, it's going to take you 2 to 6 weeks to normalize and get into a normal program.
But to get that time frame, they really have to watch what they put in their mouth too, though. It's not all about taking some supplements. You got to stop what has caused the condition in the first place.
And the
And
bad
that
food.
has to do with the bad foods. Yeah. So folks, you can get the good foods, bad foods list on our website at DailywithDoc.com. There you'll find the good foods, bad foods list. If you were invited by somebody specific, feel free to use that website for the good foods, bad foods list, for the replays. But when it comes time to get the products themselves, make sure that you get back with the person that shared this program with you, because they have a vested interest, not only because they care, but chances are they're also a coach, and using our videos, our show here as a resource to help them help you. So we want to make sure that you get back with them, thank them for sharing this program with you, and also ask them, how can I get the products from you? We want to make sure that we keep that nice and clear. Now, if you found this program on your own and there's nobody to thank, or you're part of our critical health newsletter, you've never ordered before, we do have a call team that is standing by at 855-949-3377. If you do happen to get the voicemail, please, please, please leave a message, and one of our amazing coaches will get back with you. So I just want to make sure people know that you are not alone on this journey. Now, if you're a do-it-yourselfer and just want to order on your own because you know exactly what to take, as Dr. Wallach just said it on the show, you can use our website as well. Go to DailywithDoc.com. and you will find a store as also. So let's go back to Jay. I think she had one more question she wanted to ask. Jay, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yes, I apologize. I just had a quick question in regards to, should I take a prenatal pill and the 90 essentials, or just the 90 essentials standalone?
Okay, now did the doctor give you a prenatal?
It's over the counter, so I just went to the
Okay,
drugstore.
so you did that on your own. Okay, no, you go ahead and take our program. I wouldn't take both.
Oh, don't take both. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, because he said in the multivitamin, usually there's too much vitamin A.
Okay. He has, this is America. He has a right to his opinion.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Wallach.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much for that. Now, Dr. Wallach, I have somebody on the other, or over here on YouTube, and they're wanting to know what causes tumors. And since this individual has a friend that has a brain tumor, wanting to know if there's a specific cause and what they can do to support the body in this situation.
Okay. Well, if you look up the word tumor in a dictionary, it means a swelling. It could be the size of a pea, it could be the size of a grape, it could be the size of an orange, it could be the size of a grapefruit. A tumor is just a big swelling. Cancer is totally different. But when people hear tumor, they think of cancer, but it could be a benign, non-cancerous thing. Okay. And so even on an MRI, an aneurysm, the size of a golf ball could be interpreted as a tumor because it's a round thing, okay, the size of a golf ball. Okay. So we need a little more information, but the things that go on in the brain, of course, the brain, depending on the part of the brain you're looking at, is represented by 25% to 50% myelin, the white matter of the brain. Okay. And so sometimes that will run amok a little bit and make extra because it feels abused for one nutritionally or alcohol or whatever, and enlarge in a certain area and might be interpreted mistakenly as a tumor. And most people think of the word tumor to be cancer. But when you look up the word tumor in the medical dictionary, it just means a swelling. It's just a swelling. Could be, again, the size of a pea, the grape, a golf ball, a baseball. Could be the size of a grapefruit. Could be the size of a watermelon. That's a big one. But they can be benign. They're not necessarily cancerous. Okay, so we need a little more information. Okay, but again, when you have something going on in the brain, you want to make sure you're getting rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no butter, rye, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks, even the diet drinks and the carbonated water needs to go. And then per 100 pounds of body weight, I would throw in the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, 1 per 100 pounds of body weight. I'd throw in the MSM, 1 bottle a month per 100 pounds of body weight, 3 twice a day for cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue. Then again, doesn't hurt to throw in the collagen peptides per 100 pounds of body weight, 1 scoop at breakfast drink and 1 scoop with evening drink of our collagen peptides. It actually helps. It's a collagen from fish, poultry, sheep, and beef. Okay. But again, tumors can be just a swelling of the cartilage in your knee. Doctors take an x-ray and say, oh, you have a tumor on your knee. And they don't say it, but they go home giggling because they know you heard cancer and they said tumor. Okay. So you have to ask them, what do you mean tumor? What does that mean? You have to tell me what you mean by tumor. Is that just a swelling or is it cancer? Tell me what I got here. Okay. You have to ask that next question because letters are going to throw out to you, something that will ensure you're going to want some medication. Sometimes you just need some nutrition. Okay. And so you need more information when you're talking about tumors. So I don't know if that answers all your questions, but.
Well, that definitely does help. Now, there is some talk that tumors can be affected by estrogen and testosterone.
Well,
So,
yeah, particularly if they're, cancers in the testicles, high testosterone can drive that cancer to be worse and more invasive. Same way with estrogen. When you have a cancerous tumor in your ovaries and you're taking estrogen, that's going to drive that cancer to be more vicious. Okay. So you have to know what they mean by you have a tumor. Okay.
okay.
Give me the definition you're talking about. Is this cancer? Tell me, is this cancer or is
Well,
this?
no, I just got some more information. It is benign. And the information shows that right now that his estrogen and testosterone hormones are being thrown off, and think that are all side effects of the tumor, or the tumor is a side effect of them being thrown off.
Okay, he's got estrogen.
Well, women have a little bit of testosterone.
Yeah.
Men have a little bit of estrogen.
Okay.
Come on, Doc.
All right. So we know it's benign, it's not cancerous. Okay, that's a good thing. And so again, this guy needs to get rid of all the bad stuff. 1 Healthy Brain and Heart Pack per 100 pounds of body weight. If he only weighs 110 pounds, it'd be a half a dose of breakfast, half a dose of dinner. If he weighs 150 pounds, it'd be 2 Healthy Brain and Heart Packs a month, a full dose of breakfast, full dose of dinner time. Same way with the, let's see here. I'd go with the, what would you choose?
That's a tough one because we don't want to recommend immortalium and there's immortalium in our Zeratest and Zerafim.
Mhm.
So we do have one that's called Stay Balanced, Dr. Wallach, that uses
Well,
herbs to support the
What they
body.
say, if the doctor says this is benign, it's not cancerous, then if this guy's a guy, then
And understood.
I
That's
would
right.
go.
See, that just proves, say tumor, and you hear cancer. So that proves it. You're right, Doc.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, so, yeah, I'd go with the Zeratest, okay? And I take 2 of those twice a day. And it's one of those things where it just, gives the equipment the ingredients it needs to do its job, okay? So to produce the hormones properly, your body, the Sertoli cells, need to make testosterone. They need the raw materials. So if you're eating a good dinner, but you're not getting the raw materials in there for the Sertoli cells to make testosterone, you're going to have trouble. Okay. And they say there's trouble in River City.
there's a river that runs that way. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach, for that additional information. And so there's somebody that had said that they were told that they had cancer, and it was actually a fibroid tumor, non-cancerous. So as you were just saying a minute ago, if there are tumors that are in the
Non-cancerous.
non-cancerous, so like fibroid, are fibroid tumors, are they specific to any special location or can they be
Typically, they would be in the uterus.
in the uterus?
Yeah,
So
uterine
then
fibroid.
that could go back to that female
Zerafem.
hormone
Yeah, Zerafem.
imbalance.
Don't forget the
Zero.
egg, which is a raw material for your ovaries to make estrogen and for the testicles to make testosterone, because the eggs have what in them? Cholesterol. Cholesterol makes up 95% of our sex hormones. Cholesterol you don't want to be on a cholesterol restricted diet. You don't want to be on cholesterol lowering drugs. As soon as your doctor brings that up, you excuse yourself and say, I'm sorry, I need to find a different doctor. I hope you do well. Goodbye.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's another question that has to do with hormones, Dr. Wallach. Our food, they feed cows, they feed chickens hormones
Mm-hmm.
to help them grow faster. How does that affect us when we eat the meat of an animal that has been given hormones? Can that throw our own hormone levels off?
Well, only if you're eating the location where they're getting a shot of hormones and you're eating that piece of meat where they're injecting the hormones into. Okay. Because even a cow that's not getting extra hormones, they're making hormones. And so it's going to float around into the blood and into the lungs, into the brain, into the heart, into the meat, into the liver, and so forth. And so human beings have been eating animal flesh since the beginning of time.
Yeah, beginning of time, they weren't injecting them with hormones though, Doc.
But animals were making hormones.
Understood. And I understand what you're saying, at the point of injection, but when it gets injected into the body, it doesn't stay localized, or else there would be absolutely no purpose for having the injection.
Well, it doesn't say localized. It gets picked up by the blood system and is distributed throughout the body. It doesn't just get used where it gets injected. Okay. When you get a vaccination in your butt, okay, or
Yeah, I'm
on
not going
in the back of your arm, okay, something like that. By 24 hours, it's distributed throughout the whole body. It's not just sitting there in one spot.
Well, and that brings me back to my question about having the food on our table that has been injected with hormones or fed hormones.
Well, yeah, well.
Does that just prove that we need to be more cautious and concerned about where our food sources are coming from?
If you're concerned about that, that's why they have range-fed beef, because there's no hormones given to those animals. Range-fed.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Well, you ask the grocery store, say, when you say range-fed, do you guarantee that there's no hormones been injected in them? Oh, no, these are range-fed, no hormones, nothing like that. No. Okay. That's an easy question.
For me, I have to make sure that it's on the label because chances are that butcher knows nothing about what that farmer was doing or that rancher was doing. Well, Dr. Wallach, we are at the end of our time with you. Thank you so much for providing another informative, empowering 50 minutes of information that we can use to help ourselves. So thank you so
Thank you.
much, Doc.
Thank you, Becca. Thank you, team.
Yes, we will see you tomorrow. And same place, same time, DailywithDocZoom.com. And if I can get my co-hosts up with me, that would be absolutely fantastic. So we had a lot of great information here shared, folks, that really meets people with their questions, where they're at, and the things that are concerned them most. That's what this program is all about. And if there's something that Dr. Wallach doesn't know everything about, he's going to say, you know, I don't know exactly what is needed to answer that question properly. I'll do some research. And trust me, he researches. Anytime that he is not on a show, on a call, he is researching. And sometimes even on that show, he starts some research. So if you heard anything today that sparked your interest in wanting to know more about what we do here on Daily with Doc, or what the person who referred you to watch this show does, get back with them, get with us. We do have, for those that are not working with somebody, we have an option on our website called Contact. You can use that to send us an email, send in your questions. We have our newsletter. Make sure that you're connected with our newsletter. This is for everybody. And with our newsletter, we will be sending out once a week. As of right now, it's going to be adding a little bit more as we build up our articles that support the body as a whole through complete supplementation. But we're also going to be talking about some of those special concerns. So make sure that you're signed up for our newsletter there. You can find that on our website. And I started to say something but didn't finish. Yeah, well, okay, so AJ's can't think of it either. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us here on Daily with Doc. We are just so excited that more and more people are waking up to the fact that we are not chemical deficient, we're nutrient deficient. And when we correct the nutrient deficiencies around the world, the whole world is going to be a happier place to live. Because face it, if you're not feeling good, are you happy all the time? Can you tolerate the person next to you when you're already not feeling good? So let's feel good so that we can tolerate and love each other more and have a happier place all around. I want to thank my co-hosts with me today because of all that they do. They're dedicating their time, they're donating their time to be here to help us make sure that this program runs smoothly. We have Sherry Browning. She's the first person you get to encounter as you are coming into our Zoom room. She's the one that lets you in, folks, for most people. And she also helps to keep track of the cameras and make sure that the people who have their videos on are doing that in a respectful manner. We have Marilyn Pizarro-Spear. She's the one that welcomes you the most in the chat. Not the only one, but she's the one that welcomes you the most in the chat. And as Dr. Wallach is giving information, she is doing some amazing dictation and communicating that through the chat. So folks, if you ever want to join us live on Daily with Doc, go to DailywithDocZoom.com. Make sure that you have that chat open so that you can get that information as well. Because she's also putting in that chat, as Dr. Wallach is recommending a program for people, she's putting that information in the chat. So you could take a screenshot or a picture, depending on what device you're on, of that recommendation, and then take it back to the person that invited you to this program and say, hey, this is what Dr. Wallach recommended for me, if you're the person that asked the question, or I have somebody or myself that has similar concerns, and this is what the protocol was recommended by Dr. Wallach that would work best for that situation. So give us 90 days, get on a program, work with a coach. You're not going to regret it. And then we also have AJ. He's out there in YouTube, Rumble, and Facebook, helping to keep that chatter going and communicating the questions to me, because I can't see all the questions on all those platforms. So thank you so much for doing that, AJ. And he is the backup to my executive production manager, who makes sure that all of the streams are rolling and everything is connected that way. So as we are growing, we all will have a little bit of pain, folks. But if you have communication skills, or if you have technical skills, or if you have skills at all that you would like to use to help build people up and create a healthier community, contact us. 855-949-3377 is where you can call and get a hold of one of the people on my team. They can give you more information, or use that contact us on the website. But again, if you were invited by somebody specific, get back with them. So until tomorrow, bye for now.